one of the most hated figures in Islamic history, a man despised by all Muslims, is Yazid ibn Mu'awiya. He is known for his brutal enmity toward the Prophet Muhammad's family, unmatched in the annals of history. Calling him the most tyrannical ruler in Islamic history would not be an exaggeration. Today, we'll discuss the family tree of Yazid ibn Mu'awiya, the biggest enemy of Ahl al-Bayt. Who were Yazid's ancestors? How was he related to the third caliph, Uthman ibn Affan? Which of his descendants will the evil tyrant, Sufyani, who will fight the Imam Mahdi, emerge? And where in today's world do the descendants of Yazid live? To understand this lineage, we must begin with Abd Manaf ibn Qusay, the chief of Quraysh, who was responsible for the care of the Kaaba and its pilgrims. His sons, Abd Shams, Hashim, and others inherited these responsibilities. Abd Shams and Hashim were twin sons of Abd Manaf. Islamic hagiographers give an exotic narration concerning the birth of Hashim. This narration states that Hashim and Abd Shams were conjoined twins born with Hashim's leg attached to his twin brother's head. Legend says that their father, Abd Manaf ibn Qusay, separated his conjoined sons with a sword, and that some priests believed that the blood that had flown between them signified wars between their progeny. That conflict continued between Banu Umayya and Banu Hashim after the advent of Islam. Hashim was the great-grandfather of the Prophet Muhammad. Due to his name, the Prophet's descendants are known as Banu Hashim. Abd Shams, on the other hand, is considered the ancestor of Banu Umayya. Hashim undertook the honoured task of caring for pilgrims, while Abd Shams's son, Umayya, became the military leader in Mecca. Due to his military power, Umayya's descendants became politically dominant. Umayya challenged his uncle Hashim's leadership, but failed. Because of his persistent hostility, he was exiled from Mecca and settled in Syria, where he and his descendants took up trade. There is significant historical debate about Umayya's origins. Some historians say he was Abd Shams's biological son, while some Shia traditions claim Umayya was actually a Roman slave who was freed and adopted by Abd Shams. Umayya had several children, of whom two sons were famous, Harb and Abu Alas. The third caliph, Uthman ibn Affan, hailed from Abu Alas's line. Uthman was both the cousin and son-in-law of Prophet Muhammad. He married the Prophet's daughters, Ruqayya, and after her passing, Kulthum, earning him the title Dhul Nurayn, the possessor of two lights. After Yazid's death, all later Umayyad rulers came from Uthman's cousin Marwan's lineage, known as the Marwanid branch. Yazid, however, belonged to the Sufyanid branch of the Umayyads, so he was a distant nephew of Caliph Uthman. Harb was one of the top leaders of the Quraysh of Mecca, belonging to one of its clans, the Banu Abd Shams. The Islamic tradition presents him as the successor of his companion, Abd al-Muttalib of the Banu Hashim, as the war leader of the Quraysh. He led the Abd Shams, or the Quraysh in general, during the Fijar war against the nomadic tribes of the Hawazin. After his death, war leadership returned to the Banu Hashim. Harb had several children, two of whom were particularly well known: his son, Abu Sufyan, and his daughter, Arwa. Arwa bint Harb, better known as Jamil, was notorious for her hostility towards the Prophet Muhammad. She would throw thorns in his path. She was married to Abu Lahab, the paternal uncle of the Prophet. Both Abu Lahab and Jamil were bitter enemies of the Prophet Muhammad and are condemned in the Holy Quran in Surah al-Lahab. The Umayyads opposed Islam from the very beginning. Abu Sufyan, grandson of Umayya and son of Harb, was one of their main leaders. Initially, he led trade caravans to Syria and fought against Islam in multiple battles. Later, during the conquest of Mecca, he accepted Islam. Abu Sufyan's wife, Hind bint Utbah, was one of Islam's fiercest enemies. She mutilated the body of the Prophet's uncle, Hamza ibn Abd al-Muttalib, during the Battle of Uhud and chewed his liver. In 630 CE, when the Muslims conquered Mecca, most members of the Banu Umayya accepted Islam. Among them were Abu Sufyan, his wife Hind bint Utbah, and his sons Yazid and Mu'awiya. The Prophet Muhammad gave them a role in the newly established Islamic State, and they participated in the Battle of Hunain. After the passing of the Prophet Muhammad, the first caliph, Abu Bakr Siddiq, appointed Abu Sufyan as the governor of Najran. Among Abu Sufyan's children were Yazid, Muawiya, and Habiba. Abu Sufyan's daughter, Habiba, became a wife of the Prophet Muhammad. Abu Sufyan's elder son was Yazid. He served as commander in Syria. After the death of the overall Muslim commander of Syria, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, in 639, he was appointed by Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab, the governor of Damascus, Jordan, and Palestine.
Yazid was the elder half-brother of Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan, who was appointed as his successor over Damascus and Jordan by Caliph Umar and gradually became governor over all of Syria. Muawiya quickly gained influence and built a strong military in Syria. In 656 CE, Caliph Uthman was martyred. Muawiya, who had by then reached the peak of his power, decided to avenge the murder of his cousin. After the martyrdom of Caliph Uthman, the Muslims elected Ali ibn Abi Talib as the fourth caliph. His leadership was opposed by Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan, who refused to pledge allegiance to Caliph Ali. As a result, the first Muslim civil war, the first fitna, broke out among the Muslims, leading to internal warfare and the division of the vast Islamic empire into two factions. This civil war led to a series of battles between Caliph Ali and Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan. Eventually, Imam Ali was martyred, and after him, the Muslims appointed his elder son, Hassan, as caliph. However, Imam Hassan voluntarily relinquished the caliphate and made a treaty with Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan to end the civil war. This treaty is known as the Treaty of Hassan, Sulh Hassan. After this peace agreement, the period of the rightly guided caliphate, or Khilafat Rashida, came to an end, and in 661 CE, Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan established the Umayyad Dynasty. Muawiya had many children from different wives. His son Yazid's mother was a Christian woman, Maysun bint Badal, from the Banu Kalb tribe. Yazid, who was named by Muawiya after his own brother Yazid, became a source of controversy when, in 676 CE, Muawiya nominated his son as his successor. This decision was widely seen as a violation of the Islamic principle of shura, consultation, and as the introduction of hereditary monarchy into the Islamic system. During the era of the rightly guided caliphs, Khilafat Rashida, caliphs were chosen through mutual consultation, and no caliph had ever appointed his son as his successor. In 680 CE, after the death of Muawiya, Yazid ascended the throne, which marked the beginning of the second major civil strife, fitna, in the Muslim world. As soon as Yazid took power, he demanded allegiance, bay'ah, from several prominent figures, including Imam Hussain ibn Ali, the son of Imam Ali, Abdullah ibn Umar, the son of Caliph Umar, and Abdullah ibn Zubair, the son of Zubair ibn al-Awam, among others. To gain public legitimacy, Yazid sought the allegiance of Imam Hussain, the head of the Prophet Muhammad's household, Ahl al-Bayt. However, when Yazid demanded bay'ah, Imam Hussain firmly refused to pledge allegiance. As a result, Imam Hussain left his homeland of Medina and migrated towards Mecca. While he was there, the people of Kufa sent letters to him, inviting him to become their leader and promising their allegiance. When Imam Hussain set out toward Kufa, with approximately 72 companions, Yazid intercepted his caravan. At the plains of Karbala, Yazid's forces brutally martyred Imam Hussain, the grandson of Prophet Muhammad and the younger son of Ali, along with his family members and 72 loyal companions. The women of his household were taken captive. This tragic event occurred on the day of Ashura and is remembered across the Muslim world as a symbol of sacrifice and resistance against tyranny. The tragedy of Karbala sparked outrage in the Hijaz, where people became disillusioned with Yazid's actions and broke their allegiance to him. Instead, they pledged allegiance to the prominent companion Abdullah ibn Zubayr as caliph. Yet, even after the incident of Karbala, Yazid did not stop. The people of Medina, under the leadership of companion of the Prophet Muhammad, Abdullah ibn Hanzala, also revoked their allegiance to Yazid. They removed his cousin, the governor, Uthman ibn Muhammad ibn Abi Sufyan, from power and expelled him from the city. All Umayyads present in Medina were exiled. In response, Yazid sent an army of 12,000 troops under the command of Muslim ibn Uqba to reassert Umayyad control over the Hijaz. This led to another tragic event, known as the incident of al-Harra. Yazid's army attacked Medina, committing widespread massacres and looting. After forcing people to pledge allegiance under duress, the army marched onto Mecca to suppress Abdullah ibn Zubayr. The Umayyad forces then laid siege to Mecca, during which the Kaaba was damaged. However, before the siege could be completed, Yazid died and the army retreated back to Damascus. Yazid married 3 women and also had several concubines. The names of 2 of his wives were Fakhta bint Abi Hisham, Kulthum bint Abdullah. Both Fakhta and Kulthum belonged to the Banu Abd Shams clan, which was the original tribe of the Umayyad family. Yazid had 3 sons from these wives. His eldest son was Muawiya. At the time of Yazid's death, Muawiya was between 17 and 23 years old. The name of his mother is not known, but she belonged to the Banu Kalb tribe. Muawiya II had the support of the Banu Kalb tribe, but his caliphate was recognized only in Damascus and parts of southern Syria. The duration of his rule is reported to be between 20 days and 4 months, though the more widely accepted view is that he did not rule for more than 2 months. Muawiya II condemned the oppression committed by his father Yazid against the family of the Prophet, Ahl al-Bayt. He rejected the style of governance practiced by his forefathers. Due to poor health, Muawiya II rarely left the Umayyad palace in Damascus, Qasr al-Khadra. The exact cause of his death remains unclear. He had no children and his remaining brothers were still very young. Muawiya II was the 3rd and last caliph of the Sufyanid branch of the Umayyad dynasty. After his, Muawiya II's, death, the rule of the Umayyad Caliphate shifted from the Sufyanid branch to the Marwanid branch. Marwan ibn al-Hakam, a senior member of the Umayyad clan and the cousin of Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan, declared himself caliph. He ended the second fitna, civil war, and re-established Umayyad authority. All subsequent Umayyad rulers came from the Marwanid line. Yazid's lineage continued through his 2 sons, named Khalid and Abdullah. Khalid was born around 668 CE. When Marwan ibn al-Hakam became caliph, he married Fakhta, Yazid's widow, to form an alliance with the Sufyanid family and to eliminate Khalid's claim to the caliphate. However, when Marwan realized that Khalid ibn Yazid was politically weak, he removed both Khalid and his younger brother Abdullah ibn Yazid, from the line of succession, and instead nominated his own sons, Abdul Malik and Abdul Aziz, as heirs to the Caliphate. A close relationship later developed between Khalid ibn Yazid and Marwan's son, Abdul Malik. When Abdul Malik became caliph, he appointed Khalid as his advisor. During this period, Khalid also married Abdul Malik's daughter, Aisha. Abdullah ibn Yazid, Yazid's son from Kulthum, was known as a skilled archer and an expert horseman. Yazid also had a daughter named Atika, who married the 5th Umayyad caliph, Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan. She was one of his favorite wives, and they had several children together, including the future caliph Yazid II, who ruled from 720 to 724 CE. Yazid had several other sons as well, who were born to concubines, slave women. According to some historians, the tyrant ruler of the end times, known as al-Sufyani, is believed to be from the lineage of Yazid's 2 sons, Khalid and Abdullah, and he is foretold to wage war against Imam Mahdi. Scholars hold different views regarding the origins of this figure. Some believe that the legend of the Sufyani emerged during the Umayyad era itself. The well-known Orientalist, Henri Lamens, suggested that a man named Abu Muhammad was actually the basis for the Sufyani legend. People in Syria believe that after his execution, he went into occultation and would reappear, similar to the Shia belief regarding the return of the Mahdi. In 750 CE, during the Abbasid revolution, the Abbasids showed no mercy toward the Umayyads. They executed a large number of Umayyad princes from both the Sufyanid and Marwanid branches. A few survivors went into hiding to save their lives. Today, descendants of the Sufyani line, meaning the lineage of Yazid's sons Khalid and Abdullah, are still believed to be living in Syria, having assimilated into the local population. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content from Family Trees. Curious about the family tree of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei? Tap the video on your screen to explore it now. And if you want to know who from the household of Prophet Muhammad was martyred in Karbala on the 10th of Muharram, tap the video on your screen. Thanks for watching.